Welcome to episode 6 of Two Guys, One Sport. My name is Chris.
I'm George. Hi, everybody.
And we're back on the weekends finally.
Yeah, we're back. We had a little schedule stuff, but we're good now.
Yeah.
And we're back in our normal spot, ready to rock and roll.
Hopefully, most of the technical issues that everybody was tweeting us about last week are fixed. Google Hangouts just isn't our friend. That's the only thing I can say.
But we're here. We're here. We're going to power through. We got a good show today. We're going to talk about some indie wrestling. We're going to talk about the Superstar Shakeup. We're going to talk about New Japan, and we're going to Katsuyori Shibata and his unfortunate injury.
Yeah, maybe a 2-second touch on why JBL's a terrible human being, also. But
but that's kind of
we'll give a little bit of that.
Yeah, we'll give a little. I mean, it's not exactly controversial.
Yeah, I mean, because everybody's been saying this at this point anyway. So
yeah,
we might as well jump on the train there. But match of the week is going to be a little bit different because George has a show of the week. We'll just call it that. So yeah, you were at AAW last week.
Chicago. If you don't know, Chicago is home to AAW Wrestling, an independent promotion that's been going on for 13 years now. And they've had everybody you could think of under the sun, independent-wise. CM Punk has been there. Chris Hero has been there. Galgan, Pentagon Jr., any independent star you can think of has come and gone. Drew McIntyre, Drew Galloway at the time, Silas Young,
ZSJ,
Sammy Callahan, anyone you could think of on the independent scene for the past 10 years has been to an AAW show. It really is a who's who of indie wrestling. Someone once called them PWG East, and that's a really good comparison because PWG West would be in the ocean, so it has to be PWG East.
Yeah.
And that's a really good comparison. Just an indie supercard of who's who names in independent wrestling coming forth and giving good matches. I went last Friday. Always a fun time. They had a new venue, which was like 10 minutes from Mom's house, which was even better. I could just take an Uber instead of having to go all the way to their normal venue, which is kind of far from me.
Nice.
I'm going to go through the show briefly. I don't want to spoil too much because I really want you to go out and watch the show. Chris and others, especially tonight. And one of the best matches I've seen all year, to be honest. We don't talk enough about this guy on the show. We need to really start talking about Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
Because Matt Riddle is, in my estimation, one of the 10 best wrestlers in the world already. And he's only been doing this for 2 years. Mm-hmm. He does everything well. There's nothing this guy cannot do in a ring. He's charismatic. He's got a great look. He's got a great moveset. He gets over. He's the total package. Likes to herb a little too much for WWE's sake, but then again, they did just hire Jeff Hardy, so maybe they don't care that much.
Yeah.
Fought Big Mike Elgin, who has done the AAW circuit for many years. He's always good to the promotion. I remember when I first went to the AAW show, maybe 12-ish, 2013, and he was fine. It was during that whole Big Mike Davey Richards feud in Ring of Honor. I remember they had that match in 2012 that was really good at one of the Super Cards of Honor. And they had a reasonable facsimile, but Mike Elgin, he was a pretty good professional wrestler. Kind of lost his way a little bit in Ring of Honor at the end. Is now a full-time member of New Japan, and it's, oh my God, has the lights switched for this guy.
Yeah.
Mike Elgin has turned into an excellent professional wrestler. He was there. Mrs. Big Mike was there. Little Big Mike was there in a stroller playing with WWE action figures in what was like the cutest scene of all time. His kid's got to be like maybe 2 years old. Maybe. He was playing with little action figures.
I like the title of Little Big Mike.
Little Big Mike. Well, Little Mike is Mike Bennett.
Yeah.
So I don't want to insult Mike Elgin Jr. or whatever his name is by comparing him to Mike Bennett, who's pure trash.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna call him Little Big Mike and Miss Big Mike, who was also very gracious, helping sell merchandise. The thing about most Matt Riddle matches follow the same formula. He shows up, he dominates, he wins, everyone's happy. I didn't know how much I needed Matt Riddle face in peril selling until this match. Mike Elgin took 80% of the match, which is unusual because, like I said, Matt Riddle's usually booked to look pretty strong. But even Matt Riddle's selling is top-notch. My favorite thing he does is when he hulks up. I call it growing up because his whole gimmick is that he's just a bro. And he mounts the guy and he lays in these hard, wicked shoot UFC forearms that looks just something straight out of Brock Lesnar. It's just so great. Because we'll get to this when we talk about Shibata, but I love Matt Riddle because he's authentic. In a business that's so fucking fake, Matt Riddle isn't fake. He lives the gimmick. He is the gimmick. He works the gimmick. He's great. Mike Elgin's great. This whole card was fun. The main event was Pentagon, the artist formerly known as Pentagon Jr. versus AR Fox. If you don't know AR Fox, he's awesome too. Everyone knows Pentagon Jr. as this charismatic brawler, but AR Fox can absolutely bring it too. Good high flyer, fun main event. Sami Callihan was there. Abyss was there. He's got enough to the left, but that's okay.
He's Abyss. You know,
he's Abyss.
He just has
John Morrison. John Morrison using his John Morrison music was there against Ray Phoenix, who I believe is from Lucha Underground, correct?
Yes, yeah. He just goes by Phoenix in Lucha Underground, but yeah, he's
I think he's Pentagon's shoot brother. I think.
I don't know.
I thought I heard that somewhere. That was fun. You ever watch if you ever go to Lucha match? Oh, it's one more quick thing. When the luchadors and the Mexican wrestlers come, it's a whole different crowd. Mm-hmm. Normally at an independent show at AEW, it's just people like me, 20s and 30s young men, 20s and 30s women. Mm-hmm. But when you have the luchadors, you get a lot of little kids, Mexican descent, I'm assuming, and their parents and their grandparents. It's a family affair. Yeah. And it's so fun. And they bring the noisemakers, the little drums like you see on a CMLL show, the horns. It's a lot of fun.
And yes, Phoenix and Pentagon are brothers. I just checked.
Sweet.
Yeah. And their father worked as Fuego.
Really?
And their other brother, their third brother, is Nino de Fuego.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah. So
John Morrison,
full family of wrestlers.
Oh, I love it. But yeah, when the luchadors come to AEW, the whole family comes out. It feels like a lot of Mexicans and Latin Americans. They bring their little kids. They bring their grandparents. It's like a whole family affair. Hey guys, we're gonna see some wrestling, and that always makes me happy because I like wrestling should be a familial thing. It is with me. I've talked with my dad before. My dad's the reason I got into wrestling. My sister watches it now and again. Like it really should be a family thing. It really is like sports brings people together. Wrestling should bring people together. So it's always good to see the little kids coming out to an independent show when it's not normally their demographic.
Mm-hmm.
So, good show. The Matt Riddle Big Mike match is well worth your time seeing. If you like Pentagon Jr., check out him versus AR Fox. If you like John Morrison and brother of Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, check that match out as well. Mm-hmm. But AEW always puts on a good show. It'll be on High Spots in a couple weeks, highspots.com, or you can buy it on smartmarkvideo.com or highspots.com. It'll be there in a couple weeks. Well worth it. If you're anywhere in the Chicago area, come check it out. You'll see me there. I'll be the guy. I'll be the tall guy with the hoodie and the facial hair, which is pretty much everyone there. So drop me a Twitter DM. We'll hook up. We'll drink beer. We'll watch Graps. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So that's my show of the week, not match of the week, but show of the week. I'll go little plug for AEW because they really are good people.
Definitely. Yeah. All right. My match of the week, we're going back to Stardom from their show on what night was this? Was this the Nagata show? No, it was not the Nagata show. It was the Nagoya show, the other one at the end. Yeah, March 5th in Nagoya. Show that actually had 3 title defenses on it, and we're gonna go with the SWA title match between Toni Storm and Shayna Baszler. And
Shayna.
Yeah, this is a match. This is how you have to work a heel versus heel match, which is 2 arrogant jerk heels just constantly trying to one up each other with dirty heel tactics. I mean, this match was just fantastic in that not only did we not just one ref bump, but 2 ref bumps right after each other caused by different people. At one point, Shayna throws Tony into the ref, and then Tony just intentionally hits the ref to further knock him out. And you of course have the spot with Shayna getting hit by the belt, which thankfully she actually kicks out of because the SWA title is friggin' tiny, and I would not believe Shayna Baszler being able to be knocked out by that thing. But yeah, just really great ground-based submissions match. Not a lot of high-flying action because neither one of them are known for a lot of high spots, but great submission match, great heel versus heel, arrogant attitude match. A lot of trash talking back and forth between the two of them, and really just another great reason to get Stardom World. I've not been disappointed with this subscription since I got it. Love it. So
I'm a Shayna Baszler fan because
yeah,
she's authentic, and
yeah,
authenticity is going to be the theme of this week's show.
yeah, definitely.
She's authentic. She's not a gimmick. She's not fake.
Yeah, neither is Tony Storm either.
Neither is Tony. No, you're right about that. You're right about that. But I am a fan of hers, especially for someone who's only been doing this for 2 years, 3 years, whatever it's been.
Yeah, she's another one. Like, there's such a good crop of young wrestlers from Great Britain that are coming up. I mean, Tony's only 25 years old. Nixon Newell, what, 26?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even remember, but yeah, Nixon Newell, 22. Kaylee Ray's 24. Ginny is, I don't even know how old Ginny is, but she's also only been around for a very short period of time.
Shayna's a little older than that, but she is, because she has the UFC miles.
Yeah,
but she's
36. But I mean,
it's not so much the age as it is the exposure. She has the exposure.
Yeah.
Or the lack of exposure. Excuse me, is what I meant. Like she's not
anywhere, but I mean, I think she'd probably prefer it to be that way anyway. It fits in with her whole gimmick.
I'm sorry, what did you just say? I missed it.
Ginny doesn't have an age listed anywhere that I can find, but I think that works out better because that fits in with her whole gimmick anyway. So yeah, I mean, just the crop of young women coming up from the English wrestling scene is fantastic, and
absolutely it is.
And like you said, Shayna is part of the like American scene that has also kind of just exploded, along with like Nicole Savoy, and there's a few other younger talents, or actually talents of all age, that have kind of just come up in the recent years that are really starting a renaissance all over the indies. And I think that's probably why WWE is doing a women's tournament, because there's really this whole idea that outside of WWE, women's wrestling is actually even better. And we should probably bring some exposure to that. Yeah. So, I guess we got to talk about Shibata, huh? And NJPW.
Yeah, we should. Let's talk about Sakura Genesis, and then we'll talk about Shibata.
We're going to start at the top of the card, because I really do think that this is a guy. Shibata is a guy who deserves, headline status in his coverage.
Yeah.
So the main event of Sakura Genesis, IWGP Heavyweight Championship match between Shibata and Kazuchika Okada. This is following Shibata's New Japan Cup win. And I mean, if you haven't watched this match,
watch this match.
You need to go sign up for New Japan World and watch this fucking match.
It is probably my leader in the clubhouse for match of the year.
Yeah.
To be honest, this is an all-time great match. Yeah. It went 38 minutes. It felt like 20. At no point did it drag. It was hard-hitting, as we'll discuss.
Yeah.
It was impactful. Every move had meaning. Every move had purpose. There wasn't any wasted motion.
Yeah. And
minutes of fucking around like there was in Okada Omega.
Yeah.
There wasn't 20 minutes of submission spots that went nowhere like there was in Okada and Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah.
This match rocked.
Yeah, this is easily definitely better than the new beginning of Sapporo between Okada and Suzuki.
And I love Suzuki, but this was a better match.
Yeah. I think that the thing that really sold this match for me was the fact that Okada, he was going out of his way to really just step up to Shibata every step of the way, because it's clear. It's clear Shibata is the superior technician in every sense, and Okada had to step up his game because Shibata just wasn't having any of his shit. Like every point in the match. Yeah, every point in the match was just Okada trying something different, trying anything that he could to go toe to toe Shibata, and Shibata was just like, nope, You're not gonna beat me at my own game.
No.
It's not gonna happen.
No.
But
we need to talk about Okada real quick before we talk about Shibata.
Yeah.
This guy's title defense, and if you include the G1 from last year, has been an unbelievable run.
Yeah.
He's had this match. He's had a match. He's had the Tiger Mask W match. Match. That's just this year.
Yeah.
The run of matches he had at the G1.
Oh my God! I mean, at that point, like, you could start with the draw with Tanahashi as being like one of the best matches that we've seen from Okada
in years.
Yeah,
the run he has been on, putting forth 4.5-star, 5-star matches, has been unbelievable. And people are like, oh, he's soft. Oh, he's the favorite. This guy could fucking go. And it says otherwise is missing the boat on him. Like, this guy, he's 29. We could easily be talking about him as being not one of, but the best in-ring technicians of all time.
Yeah.
In terms of in-ring performances, if it's all said and done, and he continues to keep doing this for another 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
Why can't he put forth the resume that a Kenta Kobashi has? Why can't he put forth the resume that Amisawa has? Like, he's already an all-time great, and he's not even 30.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit for Okada. And those 4 matches I listed, the Shibata, Suzuki, Tiger Mask, and Omega, they're 4 different matches.
Yeah.
They're 4 different styles against 4 different opponents who all wrestle 4 different ways.
Yeah.
The Omega match is different than the Tiger Mask match, which is different than the Suzuki match, which is different than the Shibata match. And what's the common denominator? There is Kaz Okada, a 1/2-star, 5-star performance.
Yeah. I mean, the ability to just create a match out of nothing that, you know, I don't even think that this guy even like goes into matches with preparation, and then he just puts it together. And I think it's because he just has a mind for analyzing people's techniques and figuring out how to put something together that works. You know, it's like you know, he went with Omega, and it was, you know, a lot of, you know, high impact, high spots. You know, Suzuki, a whole lot of submission work. You know, the Shibata match, all strikes. I mean, I haven't even watched. I still don't know why I haven't watched the match against Tiger Mask. I need to, because I know it's
very,
a fantastic match. I've seen some of the clips.
It's a fun spot fest. It's great.
Yeah.
The Suzuki match is excellent too once you get past the lack of selling on offense, but whatever. No one sells on offense anymore.
Yeah. And especially
they do the adrenaline rush collapse. Here's the funny thing. New Japan's roster right now, top to bottom, is maybe as good as it's ever been. Maybe. Years ago it was better when they had the Bullet Club and they had AJ and they had Nakamura. This roster is capable of putting on these type of matches. Anything even remotely capturing the big fight feel of this match, we're getting fucking maggots projected onto a ring canvas, brother Chris.
Yeah. The WWE just can't measure up right now.
We don't get the shoot headbutts. How come WWE only puts forth matches with a big fight feeling when Brock Lesnar raised it? Because it's absolutely nailed it. And you can't tell me those guys and ladies can't put on a good match, because they absolutely can put on a good match.
Yeah.
But what does New Japan do well that WWE can't, or more importantly, won't do with their main events? AJ is involved, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, even with the performers that they have who do put on those big main events, you know, AJ, Nakamura, you know, Roman, Lesnar. There are so many instances. We could go back just the last year, WrestleMania 32, where three of those 4 guys who I just mentioned, who are supposed to be the big fight feel guys, were put in matches that were, you know, fucking clown shoes. AJ versus Jericho, clown shoes match. Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose, clown shoes. Roman versus Triple H, the worst WrestleMania main event of all fucking time. Why?
I get what you're saying. I don't want this to turn into the Roman Reigns show. We'll talk about Roman Reigns next week.
Yeah, no, I put the embargo on. I put the embargo on Roman Reigns for this week
because Roman Reigns. You know what?
This was a bad week.
Next week's show is going to be about Roman Reigns, not entirely, because good God, I don't want to spend 2 hours talking about one person. We're going to talk about Roman Reigns next week.
Yeah,
but I get your point. Move on. Keep going. You keep expounding on the point you were making.
Yeah, I mean, you put those guys in positions where the possibilities of them succeeding is infinitesimally small, and we've talked about this before. We talked about it on Speaks. We've talked about it here that WWE does not do well with putting their performers in positions where they can succeed at what their job is, which is to go out there, put on a performance that's going to draw the crowd in and get the crowd excited and make the crowd feel like this is something that they should be engaged with. That's something that WWE does not do well with. By contrast, New Japan has gone out of their way to make sure that every event they've had this year has had a match on the card where that is incredibly true, that the performers are getting the crowd invested and getting the crowd excited. This year, like the past calendar year, like even going back all the way to Wrestle Kingdom 10 last year, going back all the way to there, if you still live by the stereotype that Japanese crowds are quiet and disengaged, that's bullshit. Completely out of the loop. Because
on fire for Shibata.
Yeah. And the reactions to everything that was going on in the match, to the dirty break that Okada made.
Hated Okada. That was so great.
Him so much shit. They ethered him for that. And they were in.
How awesome was that?
That's probably one of the best character moments I've seen for Okada this whole year. Is perfect. And that's what I've been wanting to see from Okada. Just like live up to that arrogance that you're displaying. Live up to that, and do shit like that. It was perfect. It worked. It set the tone perfectly for what the match was supposed to be.
I think, yeah, you are 100% correct. And the crowd was out of their damn fool mind.
Yeah,
for this match, and it was great.
Every single like big spot. Every single moment of like.
How about the no selling of the Rainmaker? Where he didn't go down and everyone's just cheering in the background.
Yeah, losing their goddamn minds because that's never happened before.
No, he didn't even leave his feet. He just shrugged it off, and everyone just went ape shit.
And then
can't WWE put a match like this together? They have talent.
He made like he was going to go for the Rainmaker, and instead just slaps Okada across the face. Like,
yes,
that is so good. The character work.
I think I know what I think the agenting is killing WWE matches because they're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're all booked to be the same. There is no AJ Styles has said there's no agenting in New Japan. It's guy and guy. He says for Okada matches, sometimes Gato will sit in and give some input. He goes, when I put my match together with Okada, it was me, Okada, the Young Bucks were in the room, and Gato. Match together, he said. Finley, Jamie Noble, Dean Malenko, all these guys were nowhere to be found.
Yeah, it's like, meanwhile in WWE, it's like that list plus also Devon Dudley, Michael P.S.
Exactly.
Hayes, now Michael Cole is involved in this too. It's like, you don't need a freaking committee to put together a wrestling match.
No.
Come on.
Apparently, Gato books the shows by himself. He doesn't have 29 writers like they do on Raw.
Yeah, and
the problem is there's so much homogenization of the WWE product. Every match is the same. Every sequence is the same, which is instantly why I love Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar matches are not the same as any other matches, because you know who puts Brock Lesnar matches together? Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. Because
that's why Brock Lesnar matches are totally different than any other type of match, than any other match in WWE.
Mm-hmm. And that's all you need. You
That's all
don't need a fucking committee. You only need one guy.
So I think the agenting. Wow, I don't know why I can't say that. The
It's because it's not a
agenting.
word.
That's it.
It's not a word.
How about this? The use of agents is killing this product.
I mean, agenting is the applicable description
Yeah.
for what you're talking about, but I mean, because
But it's not a word.
Yeah. So
You're 100% correct. It's killing this product. I firmly believe that.
And I mean, it's clear even in NXT, like the number of matches that NXT has where things are outside the box and atypical are so few and far between now. Like that's why
Which is what made Oni Lorcan and Drew McIntyre so damn great.
I know, but that's the thing. Like it used to be. I hate to be one of those like NXT hipsters who's like, oh, it used to be so much better back then. But it's true. It really is true. That used to be like every week, every other week, they used to have a match like that would blow the goddamn roof off the place.
Once NXT was appointment television on. If you only had to watch one show of the week between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, you pick NXT every single week.
Yeah.
15 in 2014 and 2015. You said to yourself, I only can watch one show this week. It's fucking NXT.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Now it's like, oh yeah, but I'm really not really that interested in it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, why do you need so many people? I get that you want to keep this talent all engaged in one place, but come on.
Yeah. The biggest victim, Vince McMahon's biggest quality, and I don't use that as a positive, is his desire to make everything the same.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to homogenize professional wrestling. He wants everything to be the same.
Yeah,
and New Japan is not the same.
This is why you have cruiserweight division matches that are featuring 10 minutes of rest holds. Why?
Yes.
This is why you have I don't even want to. Yeah, we're going away. We're not talking about WWE now.
Yeah.
We're done with that.
All right. We need to talk about Shibata.
Yeah, okay.
And
so
if you haven't heard, he delivers a headbutt that a shoot headbutt, skull to skull, not like Jack Gallagher where he hits the guy in the chest and it's 100% safe.
Yeah.
Skull to skull that in the Observer, Dave says someone told him who was there it sounded like a baseball bat hitting a baseball. That sick thud. Like you can picture you go to a ball game, you hear that crack of the wood hitting a baseball. He says that's what it sounded like. He says the noise echoed throughout the building, and it was a 10,000 seat building.
Yeah. I
size.
Watching that match and watching that happen, immediately I said, Jesus Christ, what was he thinking? What was he thinking?
He did it against. He's done it before, and he suffered. He collapsed backstage, was rushed to the hospital in Tokyo. Yeah. Had a subdural hematoma, which is bleeding, which sounds excruciating. Had 6 hours of emergency surgery. Thankfully, he had suffered some of the Observer, but is gone now. He's awake, cognizant, doesn't have very many memories of the match itself.
Yeah,
may never be cleared to wrestle ever again.
Yeah, we may be looking at a Daniel Bryan type situation here, where this guy,
which sucks so bad because he felt like his main event run was just getting started, whereas Bryan at least had that cathartic moment at WrestleMania 30.
Yeah,
and I love Shibata. He's my favorite, one of my 4 or 5 favorite wrestlers, with Brock, with Matt Riddle, with Shinsuke Nakamura. And you know what those 4 guys have in common, Chris? You know what Shibata, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Matt Riddle all have in common? They're all authentic.
Yeah.
They're not a gimmick. And in a business, and especially a company like WWE, where everything is so goddamn fake and everything is so inauthentic, a guy like Shibata is authentic. He is just a crazy mofo who thinks, we've joked before, that he doesn't know this is a work.
Yeah.
And it turns out that authenticity is what is going to possibly end his career.
Yeah.
Bummed. And I'm even more bummed because I'm looking back and I think that we're culpable. Not you and I specifically, but wrestling fans are culpable. we're the ones who pop for high spots, and we're the ones who ooh and ah when a guy gets hit in the head with a chair, and we're the ones who feed the performers like a drug so that they take drugs to get back in the ring.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to fix that. I'm not gonna like the heart like, and it's not just a New Japan thing. Let's be serious. Is in 2017. Did you see the Hardy's Young Bucks have a ladder match?
Yeah.
Then the next night, Jeff Hardy jumping off another ladder onto a guy laying on a ladder. Then the next night, he and Matt Hardy could barely walk to the ring on Raw to have a match against the Club. You notice that?
Yeah. No, I mean it's not just WWE.
It's not. No. It's everybody.
It's every company.
Everybody. How about Shane McMahon at 47 jumping through a table for a pop? And nobody put a gun to his head and said, "Do this." He did it on his own volition because it's a drug. How about every CMLL show with guys doing flips off railings onto concrete? How about the main event of SummerSlam 2016, as abhorrent as it was? People, right?
I don't even.
I can go on. I can go on and on. Wrestling has evolved to the point where people are entertained by more risky moves.
And
Shibata does one idiotic headbutt, and his career is over. It's not a New Japan problem; it's a wrestling problem.
It's not just moves either. Like I'm just trying to scroll back and find where it was in Ricochet's Twitter feed. I'm probably not going to get there because it was 2 weeks ago at this point, but. I want to say Ricochet said he did 29 shows in 3 days during WrestleMania weekend, and then immediately got on a plane and went to Japan for more.
I think I saw. You know what? I think Dave says in the Observer, Mike Elgin did 10 shows in 3 days.
Yeah,
it's an obscene number.
Yeah, it's. I don't even know.
Like,
I don't even know why. I don't even know. There's 29 shows in a week is what I saw on Ricochet's feed. It's because 29 shows in 3 days is impossible. Like literally, there's not enough time. But yeah, it's like 29 shows in a week or something like that. But
let me see.
Yeah, I mean,
see if I can find it.
The idea that these guys need to put themselves out there to the point that they are in no uncertain terms putting their bodies at absolutely insane risk for for their careers. I mean, this is
for their careers and for us.
And their career is entertaining us. And I understand, the wrestlers, there are plenty of wrestlers out there who enjoy doing this just as much as we enjoy watching it. They like that the thrill.
We joked about Dean Ambrose in CZW and Drake Younger in CZW. They get off on this stuff.
And there is definitely, an attitude of carelessness that has been propagated by this desire for the next big thing. And obviously the natural evolution of talent also in wrestling has led to this too, because it used to be the idea of like a 450 splash would have been unheard of 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
Now it's a transition move.
Now it's a transition move, and guys have moved up to doing 630 sentons.
Yeah.
And why? Because we want more, and because the performers want to do more, and that's good. That's good that there's a desire for enhancement. Okay, it wasn't 29. It was 18 shows that Ricochet did. But yeah, still, I mean, that's a ludicrously high number.
This is from the Observer. This is from the April 3rd Observer, the Observer before the WrestleMania weekend. Quote. Just an example of how crazy this week is for name indie talent. Michael Elgin is working 8 shows in 3 days for 7 different companies and 10 in total over the week in Florida. Brian Cage and Sami Callihan are each doing 9 shows. And Mike Elgin was back at it last weekend. I saw him.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are...
Ricochet quoted his tweet. This guy did a tweet that said Ricochet wrestled 18 shows last week, then jumps on a plane and gets a title in New Japan, because the show he did in New Japan was the show where Tanahashi and Taguchi won the 6-man tag titles. Ricochet quotes this tweet, says, "In the most pain I've ever been in my life." No shit.
I'll never forget. They couldn't walk on Monday Night Raw after 48 hours of ladder matches.
Yeah,
But you know what? You know what it is? This is unfortunately. I thought we were past this a little bit ago. This business will eat you alive.
Yeah.
Look at Mick Foley. Look at Misawa. Look at Paraguayo. Look at Eddie Guerrero. Look at Honma. Look at Harley Race. Look at all these guys.
Brian, Kurt
Daniel
Angle.
Bryan, Kurt Angle,
Yeah.
Shibata.
Yeah,
Like,
Shibata's the latest, just the latest in a
but
series.
he won't be the last. This business will kill you. It will. And the question,
if you're not being smart about it, you will.
you have to be smart. And here, let's talk about go on for the rest of this card. It's not just Shibata. Ishii, Kamitachi, and Okada need to all go to safer grounds.
Yeah. The older guys on the card. Yeah, Ishii, Tanahashi, all those guys. The New Japan dads that we like to talk about.
Obscene bumps.
Yeah, Takahashi and Kushida are both gonna end up like in wheelchairs by the time they're 50 because of this.
50.
Yeah. I mean,
this year they've been working. New Japan guys have been working at such a ridiculous pace.
Yeah, they're putting.
They have to start tailing. Look at how they all worked in the Tanahashi era 3-4 years ago. It was all stiff as hell. Don't get me wrong, but there wasn't wacky shit like there is here. There wasn't German suplexes at the top of your head like Omega did to Okada in the Dome.
Yeah.
There wasn't crazy ass table spots.
Yeah.
In a Tanahashi main event. I mean, it was stiff, and guys were hurting.
Mm-hmm.
You watch like a Tanahashi AJ Styles match. There wasn't any of this craziness.
Yeah, you don't have
guys guys need to go back to that style.
Yeah, you didn't have events like we had at the Dome where Trent Beretta goes over the top rope, lands right on his back on the ramp. My God.
No.
Yeah, that spot still gives me shivers watching that and not the good kind, like legitimately uncomfortable. Like, Jesus Christ, he's gonna fucking break his back if he keeps doing this. Trent Beretta, you are another one. Stop it. I'm calling you out right now, Trent Beretta. You cut.
He was at AEW a couple months ago, and he did some wacky ass like senton from the turnbuckle to the ring floor, and I'm like, what are you doing? There's 400 people here at an indie. What are you doing, man?
Yeah, and there's also the problem that also is turning out. We saw this week on Raw that people are doing these spots with performers who aren't prepared for it. Just look at what happened with Charlotte.
Nia Jax,
and the Nia Jax match. 2 botches by Nia Jax, and Charlotte. Either one of them could have wrecked her and ended her career on the spot
easily. And it's a matter of luck that it did not.
And the next day, Charlotte is out there in interviews and is giving credit to Nia Jax for the learning that she's doing, and she's like, "No, don't give her credit for this. She fucked up." And I guess that you don't want to, throw your own performers under the bus, but still, somebody needs to actually say something about this and legitimately try and do something to avoid this kind of thing.
I'm going to give Charlotte a pass for what she says in public on a.
I know. I'm not saying that she should have thrown Nia under the bus, but I don't think that she should have been giving her credit either for her learning, because she still has a long way to go.
Oh, she's not very good. She does nothing well, in my opinion. She is a bad. She's not over. She can't talk. She can't work. Other than that, she's great.
Yeah. Other than everything that she needs to have, she's great.
Yeah. She does nothing well. At least Tamina has a cool looking super kick. Nia Jax doesn't even have that.
Yeah, and Tamina can also, emulate some of her the Superfly splash pretty well too.
Yeah, no, exactly. Now, this Shibata stuff, I'm so bummed. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he lives a long, happy, successful life.
Yeah,
and he stops doing. And if he ever gets back into the ring, he stops doing dumb shit like this.
Yeah, like my hope is that Shibata, after he is healed, and please, for the love of God, Katsuyori, I'm going to call you by your first name here. Take the time your doctors are telling you to take. For the love of God, do not rush your recovery, because hematomas are serious no matter where they are. I had a hematoma in my knee earlier this year, and I was taking all kinds of medication because if the blood, like basically hematoma, like George said, is like you have a collection of blood that pools up and is in places where it's not supposed to be. I had a hematoma in my knee, and I had to take all kinds of medication and do all kinds of things to avoid that from causing an infection that could have really fucked up my leg for the entirety of the rest of my life. Take the time you need to.
And you weren't wrestling.
Yeah, and I wasn't wrestling.
You were just trying to have a good quality of life.
Yeah, I'm just trying. I just tripped and fell at work and was just trying to avoid having to, be on a cane or in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. Yeah, my hope is that Shibata, after he is recovered, winds up in the dojo training, because the young lions can learn so much from him. He is such a wealth of experience and such a wealth of knowledge about proper wrestling and technique and all these things. And his striking style is incredible, and it should be taught to people. Like that's something that needs to be continued by others. Just no more headbutts is all.
No more headbutts.
Yeah.
And that goes for everybody. No more buckle bombs. No more apron power bombs, Kamatachi and Kushida.
Yeah.
No more. And I still call him Kamatachi because I don't want people to think I'm talking about the ace, whose name sounds very similar to his.
Or Yujiro Takahashi, who's terrible.
God awful. So yeah. I'm gonna call him Kamatachi just to differentiate. No more stupidity like that.
Yeah.
No more suplexes on the top of your head, Okada. Yeah. No more going off one ladder through another ladder, Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
You can have a 5-star match without killing yourself.
Yeah,
it's been done. I just watched one yesterday, Hard Austin. 5-star match, and other than a blade job, which was covered up with a Band-Aid, it was awesome, and nobody killed himself.
Yeah.
All right, Superstar Shakeup?
No, we got to do the rest.
Oh, the rest of the show.
The rest of the show. Yeah, because I
love this semi-main event.
Yeah, this was a great show
it was. You're right.
Like pretty much the entire second half of the show plus some more was a fantastic show. So
I want to talk real quick about the semi-main event that only went 2 minutes.
Yeah, and
then I'll cede the floor to you, because I know you have words on Zaki 3 belts and Goto, and I know the tag team matches you have thoughts on. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say my piece, and then I'm going to kind of cede the floor to you. Yeah. I loved with all my heart that the match ended in 2 minutes between Kamatachi and Kushida. You know why? Because it trains your crowd that they should expect to finish at any time.
Yeah.
Instead of in a big match, and not just New Japan and WWE, the first near fall in the first 10 minutes doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Well, now it matters.
Yeah.
Because it mattered then.
Yeah. No,
I love that.
Fantastic.
Every now and then, just like a great MMA fight can end in 10 seconds, sometimes a wrestling match needs to end real quick too, just to give the crowd the expectation that it ends, just to put the seed in their head that, oh man, this near fall may actually be the one that ends the match.
Yeah.
We should pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in New Japan with the long-ass main events.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting a repeat of their match from the Dome, which was a classic.
That was great.
That was a
great match.
Yeah, but this was insane because especially because it started even before the bell with Kushida top rope moonsault onto Takahashi as he's making his entrance. And believe me, as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, we're in for a crazy spot fest match, and I was expecting it to go for at least 20 minutes, and it's over in 3, and I'm like, oh, wow.
Okay. But it worked.
I will say, Hiromu, you fucked up on that first time bomb, and that was not pretty looking. So please be more careful. I mean, both of these guys onto even more amazing stuff. I mean, everybody said, okay, this might be a signal that Kushida is, I don't know what. They were very confused, but Kushida is he was on a Rev Pro event last night. I don't know what the outcome of it was, but he was in a main event on a Rev Pro show last night. I think it was against Zaki 3 belts, and Takahashi has title defense coming up against Ricochet. Both of these guys still going to be huge stars. So don't be thinking that this is a sign of Kushida.
No, I think this was a way to reset the crowd expectations for a match, especially a semi-main or main event.
Yeah, and also I think it would be good for Kushida to have a little bit of time away from the belt too, because I mean, even when Dragon Lee showed up for the new beginning events in February, it was always the expectation, okay, Kushida's still, on the outside and is, going to be coming back into the title scene. Even with when Taguchi was challenging in March, there's still the expectation, yeah, Kushida's coming back for the belt. And then, okay, he's just lost in 3 minutes. So, they got to have some better challengers. So I think this is a nice way to get Ricochet into the title scene, get Will Ospreay, Dragon Lee's coming back for the best of Super Juniors, get him back in there too. I think that this match definitely is a nice
palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So continuing on the never open weight championship match between Goto and Sabre. For those unaware, Zack Sabre is part of Suzuki Gun, and this was his first challenge for a title in New Japan. Good match. Definitely a great show of Zack Sabre's abilities for those who weren't familiar with him in the New Japan crowd. They were not entirely into it in the beginning with some of his transition grapples, but towards the end, catching Goto when Goto went up for an elbow drop and Sabre catching him into an armbar and transitioning it immediately into the Otojin breaks. That spot caught the crowd.
Yeah, it did. They woke up for that.
Yeah.
I like Goto a lot. I like him a lot. I like his style. I like his look. He's got great music too, which always helps.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll go on. I'm sorry.
I was not a fan of him overcoming a 3-on-1, offense at the end there when Desperado and Suzuki hit the ring.
Me neither. That's a little high.
That was a little bit much, but I think that this is a good way to give Goto some legitimacy because it was a long time. Most of 2016 actually was Goto can't win the big one, and he's had some really good title defenses while he's.
I like the overall story of this match, which was that Sabre is the master of the groundwork, but when it got to his stand-up, Goto would just own him.
Yeah,
because it's realistic. That's exactly how it should be.
Yeah, especially when Goto outweighs Sabre by 60 pounds.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Yeah. So
60 pounds and he puts the other leg on the scale.
Yeah. No, it was a great match. And I think wherever Goto's next challenger is, actually we know who Goto's next challenger is. It's going to be Suzuki, and I think that's going to be also a great classic match. Wherever Sabre goes to next, because apparently he's not going to be in the Super Juniors. So I'm guessing that this is.
I think he's going to stay at heavy.
Yeah, he's staying in the heavyweight division. So maybe he and somebody else from Suzuki Gun throw themselves in for either the tag titles or the 6-man titles, which I'd be okay with as long as.
I think Suzuki Gun needs a belt for some sort of legitimacy.
Yeah. I mean, and not the junior heavyweight tag titles.
No. I think the 6-man is good for them. You could do Suzuki. You could do Sabre. The best, his partner. I keep forgetting his name.
The best team would be Suzuki, Sabre, and Desperado. If you're going for the 6-man belts,
which is what they teased at the end when Desperado and Suzuki came in.
Yeah. I mean, Desperado looks like he's going for Goto's belt, but after that, yeah, I mean, the three of them, they are the best members of Suzuki Gun. After the three of them, it really drops off
a cliff.
As we said last week when we were previewing Sakura Genesis, Suzuki Gun does not have a whole lot of name recognition or money in their stable, but those three at the top, they're very good. So. After that, we had or before that, I keep going in reverse.
I love this match.
Messing with me. Tenkozy versus War Machine.
This match was so great.
This was amazing.
I love this match. This is my second favorite match of the show, I think.
Yeah. I'd agree with that because, I mean, for two of the New Japan dads, Tenkozy still brings it in the ring.
Oh yeah,
and War Machine, top tier titles. Top tier talent, I should say.
They're great. They're great hosses.
I love these guys because
I want a War Machine and Cesaro Sheamus feud pronto.
Yeah, and that was the thing. People were saying that War Machine is supposed to go to WWE, but I would have no problem with them continuing in New Japan and being a great Haas team because there are some great teams that they can have feuds with. I mean, their next title defense is a triple threat with them, Tenkozy, and Guerrillas of Destiny, and that's a match I can't wait to see because
that'll be some top notch. That'll be some top notch trash talking.
The Guerrillas trash talking War Machine trash talking right back at them is going to be fantastic.
Like that Bucks, like that Briscoe's Guerrilla Destiny match told me to go watch.
Yeah, that was a fantastic trash talking match too, and War Machine is just as good as the Briscoes with the trash talk. So I look forward to that, and like Tangaro always has those moments where he has people run the ropes and try to shoulder tackle him, and he just no sells it. Yeah, let's see you no sell it when Hanson tries to shoulder tackle you.
Good luck with that one, friend.
Yeah, I get that you're a big guy, Tonga, but you're not gonna no sell Hanson hitting you.
Yeah,
or Ray Rowe for that matter.
I love this match.
Yeah,
15-minute sprint. I love the end when Tenzan said that they wanted a rematch, and everyone shook hands, and War Machine bowed, and the fans gave him an ovation. Yeah, that was all great. This match was very good. Highly recommended. Gets the George seal of approval.
Yeah,
not every match needs to be an hour long. This match wasn't, and it was still excellent.
This may be. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this may be my favorite tag team match of the year. And there have been some great tag team matches that happened this year.
I mean, I can see it. I enjoyed the hell out of this match.
Yeah, this was a ton of fun, and you didn't need to have a lot of the crazy, stupid double teams that we've seen in a lot of WWE tag team matches this year.
Yes,
there's been so many matches that are just where you're just waiting for here comes the double team spot. And they didn't really come into play a lot here. Like they didn't play it up to such a degree that it was like, oh no, this is the end of it. They got the double team on. Oh my god, it didn't make as big of a difference. Like everything that happened in this match, like progressed the match in a logical way.
It all made sense.
Storytelling was great. Character work was great. The fact that alignments didn't necessarily matter made it even better to me. The show of respect at the end, like you said, fantastic bit. I love that. And I think that that's going to make people really buy into War Machine in a way that the Japanese crowds didn't buy into the Briscoes when they had their run last year with the titles. Because people were okay for the Briscoes, but they didn't really have, big pops. I think that War Machine is going to get some big pops from the Japanese crowds.
Agreed.
Next up, we had a fantastic 8-man tag match.
Oh man, the end of this was so good.
LIJ versus Taguchi Japan, and if you have not seen GIFs of what Ricochet did in this match, do yourself a favor and go find some, because
right now
the sequence that Ricochet pulled off in this match is probably the best sequence of transition wrestling that I have seen anybody do ever. Like, it was 2 minutes of just Ricochet just seamlessly flowing from spot to spot to spot to spot, and all of it looked amazing.
You know why I love New Japan? Because CJ Parker pinned Tetsuya Naito in the middle of the ring, and it made sense.
Yeah,
because they elevated him to such a degree to an NXT washout has been elevated by this booking to such a degree that he pinned Tetsuya Naito in the middle of the fucking ring, clean as a sheet, and everyone's like, yeah, that makes sense. I can see that.
Yeah. And people are popping for Juice Robinson in a way
it wasn't some slip out of banana either. He beat him clean as a sheet.
Yeah. Overcoming the double team, too.
And how about Naito selling it all the way to the back?
Yeah. Perfect. I mean, Juice is a young guy who deserves a push, and he's getting it in the perfect way. Having him work last year with Tanahashi in the tag league was great. Giving him that kind of mentor role. He had a great match with Cody at Wrestle Kingdom, which is shocking because it's Cody. And ever since then, the tease of him going after Naito, and then the series of matches he had with Goto for the Never Belt, also great matches. Juice has really shown himself to be a great young talent, and I foresee him having a bright career in New Japan for a long time.
Yeah, he's taken the ball and he's run with it. He's done very, very well for him.
I mean, this is a guy who very easily could make Triple H feel shamed for letting him go in the way that he did.
Yeah.
I mean, and Pulp Friction, I got to say, Pulp Friction is a fantastic looking finishing move. I love that. Like the double hook drop is is always very nice. He sets it up so well.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, Tanahashi's midlife crisis continues in fantastic form.
My favorite story in wrestling right now.
Yeah,
is Tanahashi convincing everyone he's the ace, but nobody really believing it.
and
Trying to convince himself in the process that he's the ace.
being the star of Ryusuke Taguchi's soccer team that somehow was in a wrestling ring. This whole stable, like, I didn't think Taguchi Japan was going to be a thing. Everything about this stable just
it rocks.
Perfect.
It's fun. You can tell they enjoy working with each other.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a great way to get the people who are like not part of the faction war of New Japan is still involved in something that's sort of a faction, but is very tongue in cheek. But the character work is great.
Here's a question for you. What do you think? What do you think Tanahashi does at the Dome? I know we got a ways to go.
Yeah, we got a long way to go on this.
But I mean, like, I don't see him getting one of the. I don't know what. I love this story, but I think it either needs to culminate with him putting over someone like he did Naito or beating someone. I don't know who. I don't know who. Maybe keep this 8-man tag up. Give him the maybe make it a 6-man. Give him the 6-man belt again.
Well, they have the 6-man belts right now. It's Tanahashi, Taguchi, and Ricochet have the 6-man belts right now.
Keep it. This is good for him.
You could very easily keep it on them for a while. I mean, Lord knows it's been hot shot back to Bushi, Evil, and Sonata so many times that everybody's expecting them to win at their next defense. But here's the thought, because I'm ruminating some things around in my head, and this whole
that's where danger happens.
Well, this whole faction war that has been happening in New Japan is because of the reintroduction of Suzuki Gun and now Taguchi Japan being a thing. I think that this is going to lead to some interesting interactions, and the one interaction that we haven't seen a whole lot of is Taguchi Japan versus Suzuki Gun, because they're the two new factions. So here's a match. Here's a match that on paper looks like a terrible idea, but in execution could be amazing. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Minoru Suzuki for the Never Openweight Championship.
I'd almost rather do Tanahashi and Zack Sabre if I'm going to do that, to be honest with you.
It doesn't even have if you take the championship out of the picture, then how do you feel about that?
Oh, I don't care. The championship can be in the picture. I don't mind. But if you're going to give someone the rub of beating Tanahashi at the Dome, I'd rather it be Zack Sabre, and I'd rather put Zack Sabre over.
Well, I don't necessarily think of that as giving the rub to somebody. I think about this as a way to tell the story of two guys who are, veterans who have been around the block, have done this forever, and have been butting heads. You could make the story be that Suzuki Gun and Taguchi Japan start butting heads with each other. Have it be that key members are facing off with each other in the G1, and there's some really sound victories or defeats that lead to the stables just colliding with one another, and have it be that Tanahashi faces Suzuki in some sort of like battle for dominance among the stable, because for better or for worse, right now Suzuki is still the clear leader of Suzuki Gun. I talked about last week that if Sabre won his match with Goto, that could lead to Sabre eventually dethroning Suzuki and becoming the leader of the stable. But for right now, I mean, Suzuki, even at his age, he still puts on good matches, and he can still
he does.
He can still be a good performer. So, give people a match that is a marquee match that is. I mean, I don't think we've even seen Suzuki and Tanahashi interact with each other at all since, who even can say? How long has it been since Suzuki Gun was last in New Japan? Because Tanahashi is a company man.
Yes,
like it or not, he is a company man for New Japan, and he will be there until he retires.
Yes,
there's no question about that. So, give them a match of two icons of Japanese wrestling. That's my thought.
Sure, I'm okay with that. That works for me.
Yeah. I mean, who knows if it's going to happen, but we'll see. The only other match that I really want to talk about, because everything else on the undercard was not that great,
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, it wasn't really noteworthy, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't anything terrible.
Yeah, the only highlight from the undercard that I'll give was in the junior heavyweight tag match where Chaos versus Suzuki Gun, Gedo choking Taichi with a mic cord.
That was great.
Calling him a bitch was fantastic.
Yes, that was so good.
Yeah,
that was
well deserved. Thank you, Gedo.
Thank you, Gedo. We've all been thinking it.
Yeah,
we've all wanted to do that because Taichi's a little punk ass bitch.
Yeah,
that was glorious.
Fuck that guy.
That was not, and fuck his woman too, but for a different reason. That was glorious. More of that, please. Old man Gedo giving 0 fucks was amazing.
Yeah, that was good. But Fale and Omega versus Ishii and Yano, that was actually a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the greatest Toru Yano comedy wrestling fan, and Kenny Omega comedy wrestling was not necessarily what I wanted to see, but Bad Luck Fale coming in and just saying "fuck you" to Ishii and Yano. I'm not gonna put up with your shit.
I like this Ishii and Yano tag. It works. I like the odd couple tags.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing about it that's still, even going back to the Dome, that still strikes me is how Ishii is just like, yeah, I'm gonna let Yano do all the spotlight. He can be the guy that is out there and be the face of this tag team. I'm just gonna stand in the back and do my thing. And when it comes time, I'm just gonna come in and kill people. Yes. That's just what he does.
Exactly.
And it was a fun match. Finally Kenny got his win back with the one-winged angel on Ishii. Little bit of revenge for the New Japan Cup match that Ishii won. And
that was excellent.
And we are going to see a rematch between the two of them because we have to talk about the road to Wrestling Dontaku, which is the next big event for New Japan, and it's a busy one. There's a road to Wrestling Dontaku match on April 27th that's going to feature 2 title defenses. Where we're going to have Roppongi Vice versus Taichi and Kanemaru for the junior heavyweight tag titles. Because after the match, Suzuki Gun won the junior heavyweight tag title match at Sakura Genesis, and Roppongi Vice came out and challenged them again for the belts. So we're going to see that, and then we're on that same show. Goto is defending Never Openweight title against Suzuki in the main event.
Okay.
So that should be interesting. And then we get to Wrestling Toyonokuni, I think that's how you pronounce it, on April 29th, which is going to feature another 2 title defenses. We're going to have Takahashi versus Ricochet for the junior heavyweight match. Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a show. And then there's going to be another New Japan Cup rematch between Evil and Hiroshi Tanahashi, which they put on probably the best match of the first round. Second best match. The Omega Ishii match was the best match of the first round. Evil Tanahashi, I'd say, was the second best. So we're going to have a rematch of that, which is going to be another classic. And then the main event of Wrestling Toyonokuni is Juice Robinson versus Tetsuya Naito for the title.
Naito made Juice in this match. He made him. And here's how you know Naito is... There's a rarefied level of overness where you can take a loss and be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Naito was there. Some guys, their overness is artificial, and it's just built on winning matches, and then as soon as they lose, they're not over anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys, Ric Flair, first and foremost, AJ Styles is starting to get into this area, and I believe Naito is as well, can lose clean as a sheet and be fine.
Yeah.
That's the level of over you're at, that you want to be at. Naito is there. You know what? I'd have Juice beat him again.
Yeah.
I'd have Juice beat him again, clean as a sheet.
Yeah, have Juice get the title.
Yes.
I'm perfectly okay with Juice having the IC title.
That's mine.
Because
I would have given it to Shibata before, what happened, but I'm okay with Juice. You want to make a guy, go all the way.
Yeah.
Naito does not need the title at this stage of the year. Maybe he gets it back in time for the Dome. Maybe he defends it at the Dome. I don't know, but we can cross that bridge in October or November.
Maybe he's going against Omega or Okada for the title, for the heavyweight title at the Dome. But I mean,
maybe
this would continue a nice stretch of young guys with talent and a bright career in front of them holding the IC title.
Exactly, because
since Nakamura surrendered the title, you've had Omega, you've had Naito, and now we'd be going to Juice, who's 28 years old. The dude is only 28 years old and is in prime position in his career. Think about that.
I think you should have the title. I think you should hold it for a long time.
Yeah.
If you want to make, and they've done an excellent job of keeping the IC titles importance after Nakamura left, because for a long time Nakamura was the IC champ, was the IC title. He was synonymous with it. He's the one who elevated it with that huge reign the first time, for the 300 days or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He had the match against Ibushi, the all-timer for the title. He made he is the reason why the IWGP Intercontinental title has meaning. I think a guy like Juice, a work guy, if you give him the title and you give him a good 6-month reign with it, will not only not hurt the title's prestige any, it would enhance it. Because I think Juice is that good right now, and he's on that much of a run that he could beat a Goto, he can beat an Ishii, he can even beat an Omega. Yeah, and it wouldn't hurt those guys one bit because he's that good.
Yeah, I mean, this is also a time for you to elevate some of the other performers from the lower card, and
because Omega's got one foot out the door on his own. So having a good gaijin in Juice Robinson is not the worst idea in the world.
Yeah, you can use this to bring guys like, say, with the slow but sure dissolvement of Ring of Honor. If Adam Cole or Adam Page decide they want to go full time in New Japan, have Juice have a feud with either of them. A great feud that would give both sides prestige, no matter who comes out on top. You can look at guys like just trying to throw some names on the wall here. Have him feud with Evil or Sonata.
Exactly.
If Naito goes for the heavyweight belt, Evil or Sonata,
or even a Bad Luck Fale in a David versus Goliath match. I mean, or Big Mike, which I'm sure would be an excellent match. There's options here for the guy.
Yeah. Put Ishii in there, like you were saying. You have Goto chase him. They had some great matches together already. Yoshihashi, another young guy who he could put against Robinson.
Stick.
Yeah, and his walking stick of I don't know why he has this.
I'm not sure what's going on here with the stick and the robe.
Yeah, but whatever. There's a number of young talented guys and even older talented guys too who could very easily benefit from feuding against a guy like Juice. Yeah, and Juice would only serve to increase his prestige too.
Exactly. The sky's the limit for this guy. Give him the belt. Give him a nice long run with it.
Yeah. I mean, they might decide to hold off on giving him his win until Dominion, but I mean, even then,
I would give him the belt. I think the belt is, I don't want to say wasted on Naito because Naito is so otherworldly that it's not a waste. Mm-hmm. But I think he's grown past that belt.
Well,
go on.
Here's what I think right now is that this would be a prime opportunity to give LIJ another side, another facet of their stable as a whole. Because since the Dome, when they walked out with all the belts, we've seen what it looks like when LIJ is on top. They walked out of the Dome with all the belts. I mean, the 6-man belts they lost the next night, but they got them back at New Beginning.
Yeah, whatever.
We've seen LIJ where all 5 of their members are holding gold. So why not put them in a space where none of them are holding gold? The 6-man belts are on Taguchi Japan right now. Have Ricochet win the junior heavyweight title and have Robinson win the IC title. And then LIJ is suddenly, oh my God, what happened to us? What do we do now? And so that presents an opportunity for them to refresh themselves. Maybe you put
you get the inevitable full-blown face turn.
Yeah, I mean, you could very easily do that
because they're getting face pops. They're selling merchandise like their faces. Yeah. I mean, every other person in that. I mean, it's like 1998 WWF with this Austin 316 shirts in the crowd with the LIJ shirts.
Yeah,
like every other person in the crowd has an LIJ shirt. It looks like
you could just print more LIJ shirts, and you're printing money. You're literally printing money.
So they're primed for a face turn.
Yeah. I mean, and you can, like I said, you can use this as an opportunity to refresh them and put focus into other things. Throw Naito into the heavyweight title scene because we know that that's going to happen sooner rather than later. If you want, you can throw Takahashi and Bushi into a tag team together for the junior tag titles. You could put Evil into the IC or Never Open Weight. Same thing with Sonata. You could have Evil and Sonata start a tag team together. The thing about LIJ that I love is that their performers excel in whatever role they're in.
Yes.
All 5 of them.
Yes.
All 5 of them are at
they're all
the top of their
chameleons.
game.
They all adapt to the circumstances.
And they're all young guys too. They all have at least 10 years in front of them with proper safety precautions. I'm looking at you, Takahashi, with that one. Yeah. Stop using your damn body as a weapon.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. But that could be a great moment for them. And then moving on to Wrestling Dontaku, another slate of great matches. It looks like we're gonna have another never open weight 6-man defense. I was talking about the LIJ 3 versus Taguchi Japan. We have the triple threat for the tag titles that we talked about: Guerrillas of Destiny versus Tenkozy versus War Machine. We have the Kenny Omega versus Tomohiro Ishii rematch for the New Japan Cup quarterfinals. I forget what that even called, the opening rounds, we'll just say. And we have the resolution of the aftermath of Sakura Genesis' main event that we didn't talk about, which was that Bad Luck Fale came in as Okada was motioning for the microphone. Bad Luck Fale came in and instead clubbed him in the back, hit the grenade on both him and Gedo, and then grabbed the mic, said, "You want a fucking fight? I'll give you a fucking fight," and hit Okada with the Bad Luck Fall. So the main event of Wrestling Dontaku is Okada versus Bad Luck Fale for the.
You saw that gift I sent through the tombstone. We're getting that again. That's coming.
Yeah, Okada hitting the tombstone on 340-pound Bad Luck Fale.
Yeah, barely missing.
Oh my God!
Barely. If Bad Luck Fale was an inch taller, he'd be an inch shorter. If you catch my drift.
Yeah, that was a little
exciting times. Exciting times in New Japan.
New Japan. I mean,
I don't want to say losing someone as great as AJ Styles is a blessing in disguise, but it really forced Gedo to kind of diversify his main event scene a little bit, and now it's far less predictable than it was a year ago.
Yeah, and as good brother Reverend Kane mentioned in his recap of this event on Cage Side Seats, and as we say, if you're not a member of Cage Side Seats, you're on there.
CageSideSeats.com. You're missing out if you're not a member.
But yeah, as Rev Kane said in his recap, New Japan always does well in April. This was no exception. And,
100%.
This is going to continue to be. It looks like he's going to be continuing a slate of great shows leading into May.
Yes.
So.
And then after May is the summer, and in the summer we get the G1, where
Dominion
Chris and I are going to be up all night watching New Japan every night, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, Dominion is already we don't even know what matches are going to be on Dominion, and Dominion already looks like it's going to be a must-see event. Everything that is going on right now looks like it's going to be a fantastic show.
Yeah, they're on a roll right now. Losing Shibata sucks, obviously, but they are on a roll right now.
Yeah. So now going back to the company that's not doing well right now and needs some work, but tried to do that this week with the Superstar Shakeup. Moving on to WWE. This week's episodes of Raw and SmackDown were transitional.
Yeah, good phrase. Good phrase.
That's really the only way to describe it. We saw who was crossing over brands, who was staying. We're not going to talk about the thing that everybody's talking about from Monday night because we're saving that for next week, like you said.
Yeah, next week is the Roman Reigns show. We're going to skip that.
Yeah. But let's run down the list real quick. So
I got it open. Do you need it? I have it open if you don't have it open.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. This is from the website. The following will start with SmackDown to Raw.
Yeah.
The following superstars switch from SmackDown Live to Monday Night Raw. Ready?
Yeah.
The Miz and Maurice. Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose.
Yep.
Bray Wyatt. Alexa Bliss. Mickie James. Apollo Crews. Kalisto. Heath Slater and Rhino. And Kurt Hawkins. What sticks out to you?
And Byron Saxton.
Oh, and Byron Saxton. Yeah, it doesn't have. He's not listed on the website. And Byron Saxton. And by the way, I know it's taboo, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but I enjoyed the commentary team this week on SmackDown.
I did too. I've said I'm gonna take a tangent here. I've said for a very long time. I've said this was probably something I said the very first week of the show when you're doing my draft analysis, and I was talking about why I drafted Byron Saxton to my promotion. Byron Saxton is easily the most underrated broadcaster because of the fact that he's never been put in a position to actually show that he can be a real broadcaster. Now, I'm not necessarily pleased with the fact that on SmackDown he's still going to be, showing his mark out moments with the New Day, but at least we got him away from Bailey, or he doesn't have to have that moment. Byron Saxton needs to have a moment of having time to just be a color commentator, not be a color commentator second and a wrestling fan first. He needs to be a color commentator first and a wrestling fan second.
Yes, good way of putting it.
That's what they need on that table. So, but I actually just realized I fucked it up because we were talking about the guys who moved from Tuesdays to Mondays. So it turns out actually it was,
okay. No, we're good. No, it's fine.
We don't need to talk about. We don't need to talk about. We don't need to talk about who moved from Tuesdays to Mondays on the commentary table.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Whatever. David Otunga is whatever. It's actually Booker T for a little bit because Otunga's filming a movie. Whatever. He's just useless.
Yeah. Fuck that noise. But yeah.
Not happy about The Miz getting slotted back down to the upper mid-card role when he should be a main eventer. I think he absolutely should be a main eventer. He deserves it after, and I hate the phrase deserves it, as we've discussed.
Yeah.
But he does deserve it after the heavy lifting he did all winter and spring on SmackDown. Now he's getting slotted back down to upper mid-carder. I'm not thrilled about that at all. Dean Ambrose, back to
whatever. Back to comedy spots too.
Yeah. Dean Ambrose does nothing for me at this point. He's been buried 6 feet under so many times that whatever.
Mm.
Props to him getting married. Congrats, by the way, to Dean and Renee.
Yeah, we can send our congratulations to Dean Ambrose and Renee Young, who actually apparently been married since October and just only revealed it now. But
more power to them.
Good for them.
Good for them. It's hard to find love in this world, as we've discussed.
Yes.
So I hope that they're happy together. Bray Wyatt is. I sprained my ankle jumping off the Bray Wyatt bandwagon at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I'm still walking with a limp because he's
been ruined. He has just absolutely been ruined.
He's been ruined, but some of it's on him. A lot of it's on him, actually. He takes himself way too seriously. I think if he takes himself way too seriously, he thinks he's so brilliant, and he's just not.
Well,
Alexa Bliss is a lot. Oh, go on.
Did you see the there was an article that was posted somewhere this week about Bray Wyatt giving an interview and saying that he's frustrated with what's going on with his character, and if that's true, I can't say that I blame him because
but at the same time, when the bell rings, he doesn't put on good matches, and that's no one's fault but his.
He is very limited in who he has chemistry with, and
yes,
that is also a problem. I mean,
he's had one good singles match on the main roster. And it was with 2014 Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. I mean,
he doesn't draw. He's not interesting anymore. There's real problems with this character. They should absolutely go back to the cult preacher that he was in NXT.
Yeah.
Talking about burning his daddy's shrimp boat, not this fucking voodoo witch doctor bullshit, whatever the hell this is. All he had was the power of the spoken word, and it was enough. Now he's got stupid wizard shit.
Yeah. For all they tried to do to revamp Wyndham Rotunda after the run of him as being Husky Harris, he still is who he is. There's really not much of a difference. He still is the same performer, and he still is limited in being able to put together things that are good. I mean, his character strengths, they speak for themselves. He's good at being a character that is intriguing and exciting.
Yes.
When he's written properly. But he hasn't been written properly.
And he ain't getting written properly on Monday Night Raw because nobody's written properly on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. So
Alexa Bliss, big loss, big fan of hers. Not only hot as hell, but a top-notch promo, great character, mediocre wrestler, but that's okay. That's going to be exposed on Raw. Raw is the wrestling show. SmackDown is the talking show. Alexa Bliss was perfect on SmackDown because she's the best talker in the division by miles and miles and miles.
Yeah.
now she's going to be lost in the shuffle a little bit, I feel, because she can't really go out and put forth great matches without help.
I mean, granted, the best match that she had in NXT was her title match against Bayley, and Bayley did carry a lot of the weight in that match.
Bayley had a great match with Eva Marie, though.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I think that Alexa will benefit from working with some better caliber ring technicians.
That's fair.
Because those are in existence on Raw. The problem, though, is that, again, let's go back to the talk of agenting. If they are going to be over-agented in putting these matches together, then Alexa's going to be severely exposed.
Yes.
And we've talked about the declining quality of matches for the four horsewomen and the other workers from NXT when they made the transition. And I mean, you can even look at somebody like Emma, who granted has been out with injury for such a long time, but her coming back means that she's going to be back on the circuit. And I don't know that necessarily we're going to be getting necessarily the very best with Emma having to come back in and immediately be part of this oversaturated women's division, because Raw's women's division is oversaturated, and
yes.
the ability to put together good matches while simultaneously also having good storytelling has been not great since the brand split.
I mean, Raw hasn't told a good story in a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
They are in a rut, and they have no idea how to extricate themselves from said rut.
Yeah.
Where was I? Mickie James, whatever. Good veteran hand, help the women.
Yeah.
Could do a lot worse than working with Mickie James.
Yeah.
Excited for Mickie James, Sasha Banks. Excited for Mickie James, Bayley. Those should be good, fun matches.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? Nothing wrong with a good, fun match. Not every match needs to be an epic story.
Mickie James versus Emma, even.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Apollo Crews, Kalisto. I hope Kalisto goes to 205 Live. He's wasted on the main roster.
I think that's what they're doing with him. They're
Good.
putting him into the Crews.
Apollo Crews is whatever. I mean, all hat, no cattle. He's just a worker.
Yeah, at this point, they've proven that they're not willing to tell the story that they need to tell to make him a draw. So I'm very sad by that, because
Agreed.
he's. I mean, you probably saw him when he was Uhaa Nation at AAW shows. Dude
he did the tour.
Yeah, dude is incredibly talented. He's insane.
Deserves better. We talk about this all the time, but a lot of guys on Raw deserve better.
Yeah.
It's just.
Let's call it what it is. A lot of guys on the main roster WWE deserve better. That's just what it is.
Yeah. To be fair to the main roster, Apollo Crews he's a good worker, but that's it right now.
Yeah.
He needs an opportunity to show that his natural charisma.
Yeah.
We'll see if he gets it.
Kalisto, I think a heel
turn
could actually. I think a heel turn could actually go well for Apollo.
So I agree.
I think that
Kalisto 205 Live would be great.
Yeah.
Anywhere else would be bad. Heath Slater and Rhino.
Don't ever let him talk again.
Yeah, that was real bad. Heath Slater and Rhino, whatever.
Yeah.
Kurt Hawkins, you need jobbers, whatever. I'm not.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on those?
I mean, you pretty much covered it. I mean, I'm less high on the Miz and Maurice than you are, but that's just my natural antipathy for the Miz. That's what it is. And the only other thing I got to say is, now that Dean's on Raw, please, for the love of God, don't hotshot a Shield reunion. That's really all I got.
They're going to try to get Roman over. But we'll talk about that next week.
I'll find Vince and kick him in the teeth if he does.
Please do.
That's all I can say.
Please do.
For the love of God.
Yeah, don't do that. That would be bad.
Okay.
Raw to SmackDown. SmackDown got better. It got better because it lost Bray Wyatt. First of all.
Yeah, which is
here's who went on SmackDown. You ready?
I was gonna say, if you told me a year ago that SmackDown would get better by the loss of Bray Wyatt, I would tell you you're fucking lying through your teeth. But
it did.
Yeah, this is what happens. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
United States Champion Kevin Owens. There's a note here on the website. Note: whoever wins Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho's U.S. title match at Payback will officially be on SmackDown Live. I would be shocked if it were Chris Jericho. I'd be okay with it, though, to be honest. Either way, to win. It's going to be Kevin Owens. If you haven't seen Kevin Owens and the giant chip on his shoulder from Talking Smack, go watch it when you're done watching this.
Yeah.
So great. The hostility, the open disdain,
yeah,
the
this goes right
Lack
back.
of giving any fuck is awesome. This Kevin Owens is what we needed.
This
Not comedy bullshit, Kevin Owens.
This goes back to Kevin Owens' debut on the main roster when he first encountered John Cena. This is that Kevin Owens again, and this is what I've been waiting to see for a year now because this was what we needed. This is honestly what Kevin Owens needed to do to get himself back to his spot because he, for all the crap I give Kevin Owens as a character, this is his wheelhouse. This is where he excels.
Bitter, angry, give no fucks. Kevin Owens is the best.
Yeah, but please, my asterisk on this is now that we have bitter and angry Kevin Owens, please stop him from being chicken shit.
Yes,
because that was the problem. They turned him chicken shit so badly when he came to the main roster. Confrontational Kevin Owens, who is not afraid of getting in people's faces and fighting them, is what's better. That's the better Kevin Owens. If you're gonna have him continue to be if you're gonna have him continue to be, disrespectful heel, have him be confrontational too.
Yes.
Don't have him walking away from fights with with Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin because he could beat both of them.
Agreed.
So anyway, continue down the list.
Charlotte Flair, thoughts on the Queen coming to SmackDown?
I'm of mixed thoughts on this.
Go by all means.
Yeah. Here's my thing. Charlotte needed to get away from the Raw Women's division because she cleaned house over there. Mostly because of the writing, because they were insistent on Charlotte is the be all and end all of women's wrestling on Raw, and I've said my piece about my beliefs about nepotism in WWE and their contribution to Charlotte's writing, but that's neither here nor there. So the separation from the Women's division, the reintroduction of Charlotte to a crop of performers that haven't been, involved with her for the better part of a year is a good thing. But my immediate fear is that they're going to go back to Superwoman Invincible Charlotte and have her immediately go over the entire rest of the division. And it's just going to be, we're right back to where we started. Back from Charlotte's first run with the Divas title and then winning at WrestleMania. It's great. Invincible Charlotte. Nobody can top her. I flat out guarantee you she's going to be the first person to have held titles from both shows. She's going to be the first one for the Raw Women's title and the SmackDown Women's title to have held both of them. It's going to be a thing. And if they hotshot it to her and cut the legs out from under Naomi immediately after Naomi got over, I will never forgive WWE for that.
I don't think they do that. I trust SmackDown more than I trust Monday Night Raw by leaps and bounds.
I want to trust that the SmackDown writers will do that, but at the same time, Vince is going to Vince. We know this. So I'm terrified that that's what they do, but I really hope that they don't hotshot that because that's just going to immediately kill the division. If they do that Charlotte's first title shot happens in the next 3 months and Charlotte immediately wins the title from Naomi, I'm just like, okay, well, thanks for killing the division. See you next year. So
that's all valid.
Hope they don't do it.
Agreed. That being said, if we're ever getting a good Becky Lynch main roster match, it's now or never.
Yeah. Because Charlotte is really the only person that I can think of that she will be able to work with at her full potential. So we'll see. So who's next?
We'll see. New Day. Once healthy.
I like this.
So do I. They need tag teams on Raw. SmackDown is the talking show and the character show. New Day is a great talking and character group. Yeah. They can work when they have to. By the way, props to Xavier Woods for turning into an excellent face in peril. Mm-hmm. He was very, very good against Revival on Monday night. Yeah. I wanted to just say that because he's been very good in that role for a while now, and I just wanted to point that out on the podcast for the record.
This is since they broke the record, they've really been giving Xavier a chance to show his skills because he's always been underrated as a ring worker of the three members of the New Day. So props to them for that. That was great. Yes. Next,
Rusev. Very excited about this one.
When he gets
healthy. 2 to 4 months, because Rusev is all that is great in professional wrestling. Rusev's Twitter feed alone is worth it.
I'm still holding out for the character revamp, because it's, I mean, for all the change that they had to do from Hero of the Russian Federation to the Bulgarian Brute, it's still the same character. It's still the same, anti-American jerkwad, and I want something different. I mean, yeah, he's a great in-ring worker. He's very good in the ring, but give me something different. But if they give me something different, then I'll give this 2 thumbs up, seal of approval. But if they don't give me something different, then it's just going to be more of the whatever from me. But next,
Lana.
Not
Getting the Emelina fan. Yeah, set aside for the fact that she's a putz in real life, apparently.
Yeah,
whatever.
For those not aware, our friend of the show, Stunning Stella Cheeks from the Not Your Demographic podcast,
Chicago, much like myself.
Yes, posted a piece on Cage Side Seats critiquing Lana's little preview video that happened on SmackDown this week, and talking about why it really didn't convey anything that gave her any confidence in Lana's appearance in SmackDown Women's Division. A piece that both George and I agree with, and a lot of other people agree with as well. Lana, in her infinite wisdom, then lashed out against Stella with a number of personal attacks on Twitter, saying some things that were really shitty, really showing CJ Perry, if this was in fact not in character, and given the things that were said, I don't believe it to be an in-character thing. CJ Perry, you're just a shitty human being for that, and you should feel ashamed of yourself. That's really all I can say about that, because those are some really crappy things to say to someone who you never met and who said nothing personal against you. So that's really all I can say. I had always thought that CJ Perry was probably a fairly nice person in real life, but turns out she's just a piece of shit. So
no, there's nothing redeeming about this. Like, not at all.
You don't say the things you said. I'm not going to repeat what was in those tweets, but that was garbage. And to counteract that, I'm going to say, please go and support the Not Your Demographic podcast. Stella and Eric are great people. They have a great show, and they're probably a little bit more coherent than the two of us are. So
they're Go MLS and swirl.
Yeah, go tune into Not Your Demographic. It gets published on Cage Side on Thursdays. You can find it. Next, Sami Zayn. Huge yes on that.
Yeah.
This has been a long time coming, and this was highly needed. I think that this is a prime opportunity to have Sami Zayn be in a role of learning from Daniel Bryan. Is an in-character thing. I think that that's something that can really benefit the character interactions that can happen between Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan. I think will be great. Less excited with the prospect of them continuing the feud with Kevin Owens yet again, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be going that way. So hopefully that's not what they choose to do. And the cast of characters that Sami will have to work with on Tuesday nights, really can't say anything bad about it. Zayn Corbin will be a great match. Zayn Styles,
we have a SmackDown 6, by the way. Did you notice? Just like we had in 2003. We have a SmackDown 6. We have AJ Styles. We have Shinsuke Nakamura. We have Rusev. We have Sami Zayn. We have Kevin Owens. We have Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
That doesn't count Randy Orton or John Cena.
Yeah.
By the way.
You don't even need
We
to
are in
count them.
good hands on the men's side.
Yeah, Tuesday nights, great.
That doesn't count the New Day, who can have a good singles match when need be. That doesn't count American Alpha. That doesn't count. We are in good hands on Tuesday nights. That doesn't count Dolph Ziggler, who cut a pretty good promo for all the shit we give him.
I actually want to go back to New Day for a second and say that I hope that New Day, as using their talk time, I think that this is a good opportunity to use New Day and some of their talking segments to help bring some of the character out of American Alpha, because they really need it. We've talked about how American Alpha has not been given the opportunity to really show their character side, and they've been relied upon to get over on their in-ring work alone. It obviously hasn't quite worked very well. So I think New Day, bringing that side of American Alpha out would be great.
Agreed.
And like you said, the SmackDown 6. That's all good things. Can't say enough good things about that. And I am very excited for rematches between Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura, and also Sami Zayn and John Cena. I would love to see part 2 of Sami Zayn versus John Cena, where Sami Zayn is not wrestling the whole match with his shoulder blown out
because he pumped his fist too hard.
Yeah, let's have that, a fully healthy Sami Zayn versus John Cena, please. Next,
we start to tail off a little bit here. The Shining Stars. Whatever. Bodies.
I think they're dropping the Puerto Rican travel agents gimmick, which is a good thing. But other than that,
whatever. A good point. Good house show. Good house show workers. Nothing wrong with that. Sin Cara.
I'm confused by this.
We are not getting Hunico and the Shining Stars, unfortunately. That would be a great 6-man or great 3-man.
Yeah, but I'm confused by this because I had thought that they were putting Sin Cara into the cruiserweights. Apparently that's not a thing. Although he hasn't even been on TV since that alleged shoot fight with Jericho or that happened on the bus that time. Or whoever it was.
Whatever happened.
Yeah, whatever happened. That then they said
maybe they brought Sin Cara over to shoot on JBL.
I would be okay with that.
Well, yeah. I would too.
Yeah. Sin Cara drop kicking JBL in the face. I'd be 100%.
I'd be okay with that. Maybe that's why they brought him over, to keep JBL in line.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Speaking of guys who shoot on people, Jinder Mahal.
Fuck this. Fuck everything about this.
Whatever.
Steroid Mahal concussing Finn Balor on Monday night. Yeah. Fuck that.
He's just a jobber. It is what it is.
But not according to what the rumors are saying. The rumors are saying he's going to get a push as a mid-card heel.
Sure, whatever. I'm okay with that. I'm not losing sleep over Jinder Mahal. Whatever. If there's anything there at all, SmackDown will make it work. If there's nothing there at all, they'll bury him again. It doesn't.
I will give credit where credit's due. He did have a pretty good segment on Talking Smack.
Yeah,
the guy is serviceable on the mic. So
yeah. He's serviceable on the mic. He's okay in the ring when he's not being stupid.
Yeah. So
they're never giving him a belt. Who gives a shit?
As long as he doesn't concuss fools anymore.
Yeah.
Then okay.
And finally, Tamina. Whatever. Women's body.
I'm okay with her coming back. And I think as long as they don't immediately pair her back up with Naomi, then it'll be good. I'm what I'm hoping for, honestly. I'm hoping for the first feud out the gate is Tamina versus Charlotte. That's what have it be because that's bordering on a Haas fight there.
Yeah, it is.
I won't call it an outright Haas fight because Charlotte does a little bit too much tactical stuff, but it's bordering on a Haas fight. And then, when Nikki Bella comes back, we can have the outright Haas fight of Nikki Bella versus Tamina.
Yes, that would be great too.
So good.
And by the way, that is still the shadow over this entire company or this entire brand is that sooner or later, Mr. and Mrs. John Cena are coming back to cause trouble and wreck fools.
Which I'm okay with, 100%. I love it.
I am on board. I am on board for John Cena, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh my god.
I am okay with that.
That's a Survivor Series main event if I ever saw one.
That is maybe even sooner. Maybe SummerSlam. Maybe the Rumble. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Any of those things are great possibilities.
Yes. Those are all good things.
Yeah. So Superstar shakeup.
I am optimistic about, regardless of the shakeup, I am optimistic about SmackDown because SmackDown is great and has AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. I am pessimistic about Raw because Raw sucks and the number one face on Raw is treated like a heel, which fucks everything up.
Yeah. There was also a bit of a shakeup in NXT too with the return of Drew McIntyre, who, if you have not watched Drew McIntyre versus Oney Lorcan yet, go watch that fucking match because
it's like 8 minutes long. It's so good.
It's easily the best match that we've seen in NXT this year.
It's definitely the best match that's not a takeover match like in a year and a half.
Best singles match in NXT as well. I'll call it the best singles match in NXT this year.
It is like 8 minutes. It's well worth your time. It is very, very good.
Yeah, definitely. And we also saw the official introductions of some new players on the NXT scene. Kimberly, who's wrestling under her real name, Kimberly Frankel. She had a match against Ruby Riott, so I think they're going to start integrating her into the women's division a bit. Hopefully soon she'll actually get a character as well. We saw Dylan Miley, who's apparently
my boy.
He's
that
been
was so good. Him wrecking fools.
Let me just say, Dylan Miley has been at the Performance Center as long as the Horsewomen and Sami Zayn and some of the other people have been part of NXT for years. Dylan Miley's been at the Performance Center working and working and working, and he's finally making his debut. And boy, howdy, was that a debut!
That was pretty great.
I mean, in the Fallout video that went with it, where he was in the back apologizing to Michael Blaze afterwards.
Yeah, I like the Jekyll and Hyde character. That's what they're doing.
Better. That makes it even better.
Yes, I like the Jekyll and Hyde character, or the Bruce Banner.
Yeah, Banner Hulk. Yeah, this guy is.
That's so good.
This is a perfect opportunity to do a
Monster
Banner Hulk
healers, kind of whatever. But there's something there.
Yeah, this is going to be great.
Yeah, let's hope so. And I enjoy big dudes throwing little dudes around.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the looks of things, we're going to see some even more shakeup happening in NXT in the next couple of weeks. There actually this coming week is a steel cage match, the second steel cage match in NXT TV between Ty Dillinger and Eric Young, which is supposed to settle the feud between between Dillinger and Sanity for good.
Oh, we didn't talk about Ty Dillinger going on to SmackDown.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Ty Dillinger also. He made
on the list.
Well, he made his debut last week, so we talked about that a little bit last week. But yeah, this is gonna officially settle business for Dillinger in NXT, which I think is a good thing. Finally get that last little thing out of the way, because in the end, of course, it's pretty clear with this steel cage match that Dillinger is going to get his win back, which is good because it's good. Yeah, it's good to go out on your back, but I think he's a guy who should be going out on a win, close out his business. So
yeah, I think so.
I'm predicting that he wins that match, but it should be fun regardless. Yeah, the only other thing I have to say is that JBL's a piece of shit.
JBL's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He is a scumbag. By the way, late breaking news, Mauro Ranallo back to commentary.
Yeah.
Not with WWE, with Ryzen in Japan Sunday. Good
Yeah.
to see him get back on the horse. I would be shocked if he ever appears on a WWE show ever again. I predict him nice for his troubles. And everyone moves on with their lives, and JBL keeps being a piece of shit.
Yeah, basically. There's not much you can say about it. I am a person that supports mental health issues as someone who suffers from them myself, and I appreciate the fact that Mauro has been upstanding and
advocate,
man of good principle during this whole thing. Has never once gone out and said a bad thing about anybody else, and has went out of his way to tweet on Tuesday night to please continue to support the people in the ring who are putting their bodies on the line every week on SmackDown. Even when he's not there, even if he's not going to be there, to still go and support them. Real class act.
One last final thought on my end about that. A lot of people, wrestlers and wrestling fans, have shown a lot of ass on this JBL thing. You've really started to you really started to show what kind of person you are based on who you are supporting in this endeavor.
Yeah. Looking at you, Jonathan Coachman.
Look at you, Jonathan Coachman. Looking at you, Bubba Ray Dudley. Looking at you, Taz, who has since backtracked a little to his credit. Looking at you guys, and mostly guys, for continuing to perpetrate a culture that is unhealthy. A lot of you have shown a lot of ass here, and you have to live with it. I don't. Yeah. Chris doesn't. You do, and you need to decide if it's worth it.
And especially looking at you, Vince McMahon, for encouraging this kind of backstage culture, and not nipping it in the bud when it was a problem 15 years ago, 20 years ago, because that's when it really should have been shut down. You should have shut it down then. You didn't, and now it's gotten even worse. And to the point where there are guys who feel like they can operate with impunity because of it, and you've let that happen by not publicly coming out and condemning JBL for this. So shame on you guys for that. So
you've all shown a lot of ass. Too many people. Do less of that. JBL,
please
stop being an idiot. Everyone,
Yeah.
stop. This is not complicated. This is like third grade. This is like first grade shit. Don't bully people. This isn't hard.
Yeah.
It's not. This isn't revolutionary. Am I missing the boat here, Chris?
No.
I'm not missing the boat here, am I? This is like kindergarten shit.
We are all human beings. And the bottom line comes down to, and this is something that I say to people all the time, we're in the end, we're all human beings. We all deserve the same level of common decency and respect.
Exactly.
If you don't believe that, then, you know, move to a fucking desert island, please. I mean, JBL's already basically done that. If only he just stay in Bermuda, I would be fine with that. You know, stay in Bermuda, never come back. That's really all I can say to you, JBL.
Agreed. Stop treating people like shit. This isn't complicated. So,
yeah.
Anything else, brother Chris, before we sign off?
That's it for this week. I have no idea what we're going to cover this week, next week, aside from Roman Reigns. But that promises to be a very spirited discussion, since you and I fall on opposite sides of a lot of issues on that.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about it.
We'll talk about Roman Reigns. I'm sure we'll have Raw, SmackDown, NXT. We'll have some notable stuff.
Yeah.
We can talk about. We can start to look at the pay-per-view a little bit, although I think it's in 2 weeks, right? The 28th or something.
Payback is coming up on us very soon, yes.
There's as Vince said, the big wheel keeps on turning.
Yeah, it does. And as always, guys, remember, as we say every week, never work yourselves into a shoot. This has been Two Guys, One Sport. Thank you, as always, for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great night.